Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mordecai the Hunter, and today we are on the bench looking at my Henry 22 lever action rifle. This here is an H001T model with a 20-inch octagon barrel. It has a tall buckhorn rear sight and an open post brass front sight. Blued barrel, anodized receiver, and a walnut stock and forend. I know Henry makes several different versions of this rifle, but I like the dark receiver, the full octagon barrel, and the open post on the front sight. I bought this rifle in 2020 when our local cowboy action clubs pitched the idea of running 22 caliber guns to keep the cost down at monthly matches, which was super fortunate for me because I don't think I could have kept up with the cost of ammo. So I shot this in a couple of Ruger Wranglers for almost 2 years, and while it's not perfect for the sport, which I'll get into in a minute, it did allow me to continue shooting, which is the most important part. I really needed the experience, and I was able to work on other stuff like transitions and strategy. So over the course of those 2 years, I've put about 2,000 rounds through this rifle and had almost no trouble with it functioning despite running it hard and basically never cleaning it. The firing pin is an elongated rectangle that always gets solid hits, so ignition has never been a problem, even though 22 ammo is notorious for being unreliable, and I don't think I've ever had any failures to feed or extract. Maybe I'm just lucky, or maybe I'm jinxing myself here, but it's pretty much been one of, if not the most reliable firearms I've ever owned. Now, I did have one major modification done to it before I even fired it. The lever stroke on a stock Henry is a little longer than what we're used to, but fortunately it's possible to short stroke them. There are other videos that can explain how to do this, but I took the easy route and just brought it to my local cowboy gunsmith who had it done in like 15 minutes. And as you can see, it's pretty dang close. Anyway, other than that, I made a cover for the buttstock. I wrapped the lever with some cord, and it was pretty much ready to rock and roll. The sights are great, and it holds more than 10 rounds in the tube, so there really aren't any other modifications that need to be done to make this Cowboy ready. The lever itself is super smooth out of the box, and the length of pull was fine for me even as an adult. Okay, so all that sounds great, but why is it challenging for some cowboys to use? And the answer is not anything inherently wrong with the Henry. So, most of us in the cowboy action world use an 1873 or 1866 rifle that has a lever safety, which you can see here. This little block behind the trigger keeps you from pulling it until the lever connects with this post. The idea is that if the hammer can't fall, it can't strike the firing pin and ignite the round outside the chamber. This is known as an out-of-battery discharge, and basically the pressure of the powder igniting blows the case up instead of pushing the round down the barrel, which is obviously super dangerous. But it also allows you to put pressure on the trigger as you're closing the lever, which is a trick the cowboys use to shoot fast. Basically, the hammer falls as soon as the lever stroke is complete, so the idea is that you can fire the gun as quickly as you can move the lever. The Henry, as you can see, does not have this block behind the trigger. So you can pull the trigger and drop the hammer at any time, regardless of where the bolt is. Now, the Henry does use an out-of-battery firing pin safety where basically the firing pin won't engage until the lever is completely closed and the bolt is locked, which you can hear from this click. So, because of that safety, the Henry won't fire without the round being fully chambered, but you can drop the hammer too early. So for cowboy shooters like myself that tend to lean on the function of the lever safety, you get to the point where you pull the trigger just a little bit too early in the middle of your rifle string and it goes click instead of bang. And because you're trying to go fast, you open the lever and jack around before you can stop yourself. Now, I did get to the point where I was able to stop myself and pull the hammer back to try again, but I can also tell you that there's no way to quickly reload a round back into the gun. You can't really just throw one into the chamber, because if you miss the carrier, it gets stuck on the inside of the receiver, and there's nothing fast about trying to load one through the mag tube. If you're just getting into the game, this probably doesn't affect you much, but it was a real challenge for me and it took a while to get used to. I know there are other parts out there that don't have this problem, but I had to slow way down and be extra careful while running it, and I still can't run it quite as fast as my centerfire rifle. Anyway, last thing I'll talk about is the Henry guarantee. Now, I'm usually pretty skeptical about this kind of thing, and I never really rely on it or whatever, but while I was using this at a match, I did manage to break the stock, slamming it into a table on a stage. Now, in case you weren't aware, we in Cowboy Action are really hard on guns, and I think I managed to finally break this thing around the 6-month mark, so that's still pretty good. And to be completely fair, I think I hit it on the neck near the receiver, so if it was going to break somewhere, that's probably it. Anyway, I got on the Henry website, found the customer service information, and reached out to see if they could send me a replacement and what it was going to cost. I think I sent an email on a Sunday after the shoot. I had a reply asking me for my address the next day and a new stock on my doorstep before the next shoot the following weekend. It cost me a grand total of $0, and there was no pleading, groveling, or BS involved. So 5 stars on the Henry guarantee. I am indeed extremely happy with my purchase. Overall, I would say this is a great value and a must-have for almost any gun owner, cowboy action shooter or otherwise. It's ridiculously fun to shoot, and it's probably one of the first guns I would grab for new or young shooters to plink around on. It handles any and all cheap .22 ammo and is consistent and accurate out of the box. If you do not own a firearm and are looking to dip your toes in, I think this is a great start. And hey, you could even bring it to a cowboy match and shoot it on the clock with us. If you are a club representative, I strongly encourage you to lean into rimfire categories. I've heard too many times that people don't want to get involved because the cost barrier is too high, or they don't reload, or they don't like recoil. A .22 category means that people can buy their own guns for way less, ammo is cheap and plentiful, and they can come and just enjoy plinking around, which is kind of the whole point anyway. This is the perfect way to get people involved, introduce them to the community, and keep them coming back. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. If you thought this video was helpful or entertaining, please sacrifice the YouTube gods by hitting the like and subscribe button, or let me know in the comments if you have questions or think I missed something. I think that's it for now. I'll see y'all on the range.